Well, it wasn't enough that we got 3 state-of-the-art video models come out within about a week to 2 weeks of each other, that we now have a 4th state-of-the-art video model. We initially got Flux 3 video, which I still have a video pending to do on. We got H3 MiniMax, which I've given out my first impressions video recently, and I'm currently working on a video to get it running on local consumer GPU hardware. I have it running on my 3090, so look out for that video coming soon. We got Seedance 2.5, which I haven't even had time to look at, and we got LTX-2.5 release less than 48 hours ago. So I've had a little bit of time to play with the model. I had to drop my H3 MiniMax video to get working on this one. And while it's not necessarily the best of all the video models, it is a welcome addition to the stable of available models that we have for video creation. And it's the second open source video model that we have to play around with. And in fact, there's even a way that we can combine some of the elements of LTX and H3 MiniMax, which I will talk about in my upcoming H3 video. So today we're going to have our first look at LTX 2.5, see how it performs in its 2 model variants, Pro and Turbo. I'm going to show you how to get it up and running on my image and video generation platform Kaiju Gen and ComfyUI. Today's video is going to focus on getting it running on at least 32 gigs of video RAM hardware. I'm going to be using RunPod, but I am also working on seeing how to get the model running on more consumer-friendly hardware like 24 gigs, 3090s, and 4090s. So stay tuned for that video when it becomes available. So with that, let's dive in and have a look at the model. Before we start having a look at some of the videos that I've generated and put together, let's have a quick look at the models, as there are a couple of things that I want to make sure you guys are aware of before we get into it. So if we come to the Lightricks LTX 2.5 page and head over to Files and Versions, we'll see all the models here. Now, as usual, you'll need to download and set up your diffusion models, of which we have in a few different flavors. Your latent upscale model, which again comes in 2 flavors, spatial and temporal. And you'll need your text encoder and your VAE, of which we've got 2. We've got 2 video VAEs and an audio VAE. Going back to the diffusion models, it comes in 2 flavors, distilled and dev. Now, I've been trying to get dev working on ComfyUI. Unfortunately, the workflow that has been made available by the ComfyUI team is for the distilled version. I haven't quite been able to get the parameters right to get dev working on ComfyUI. If you use the default parameters, you get videos that look a little bit like this or like this. This is the best I was able to get. As you can see, it's not usable at all. So I've stuck to using the distilled version. However, over on Kaiju Gen, the Pro version works. So the videos that we're going to look at today, the comparisons, the Pro versions are from Kaiju Gen. So if you want to make use of that, come on over here to Kaiju Gen. If you come down to video, and you'll see it here as part of the new models, we've got the Pro and Fast versions of the models, as well as some of the newer ones like H3 MiniMax, Flux 3, and Seedance, of course. I've updated my RunPod ComfyUI template to automatically download all the models into their respective places. To use that, just click on the link down below, and you'll be taken to a page that looks like this, where you can pick your GPU. I've been working with a H100 SXM, which has been more than powerful for me to get things done. And if you use the link down below, you'll see my template set up here. If you want to find the template, once you have used it once or clicked on the link down below, you can just come over here to change template and just type in endangered AI, and it'll be the first one that comes up. We're going to stick with 1 GPU on demand. Set up a volume disk, and I've set as a default for the template 150 gigs for the container disk, which is the space that disappears, and volume disk for 400. This is more than enough for you to generate videos, have a whole bunch of models, and experiment as you go along. If you want to reduce your cost per hour, you feel free to reduce these as needed. Now, before you click deploy on demand, we're going to come up here to the pod template, click template, click edit, come down here to the environment variables, and you'll see a whole bunch here. These are all different installers that I've set up for ComfyUI. If there's anything that you want in particular, just go to the model or model variant that you want and just set a 1. In this case, we are going to pick out the LTX-2.5 Max, set that to 1, and go ahead and set the overrides. And then once you're ready, click Deploy on Demand, and you'll get a pod that looks a little bit like this. If you click in here into Logs, and then Container, you'll see here all the logs, which will show you once it's set up and ready to go. It should take a couple of minutes. The downloads are incredibly fast. And when you're ready to jump into ComfyUI, just come over here to Connect. And down here under HTTP services, you'll see port 8888 and 8188. And once it's set up, you'll see here port 8188 ComfyUI and port 888. Jupyter is your file manager. If you need to download anything separately, you go ahead and click that and it will open up a file manager for you over here. I have a dedicated video coming up on how to do a few basic things over on Jupyter, so stay tuned for that. And of course, the one that we want here is the ComfyUI. So go ahead and click that and ComfyUI will open up. It's that simple. Once you're in here on ComfyUI, head on over to Templates and just look for the LTX-2.5 and you'll see a bunch of workflows. Now, really important, anything with the Pro over here is to use ComfyUI's cloud nodes, which means you need to top it up with credits. If it doesn't have that Pro, then it is for local use. So go ahead and grab the one that you want. LTX 2.5 comes in 3 variants. There's text to video, image to video, and first frame to last frame. Unfortunately, LTX 2.5 does not have a reference to video mode, but it does have a audio to video mode, which there is not a workflow yet. So if that doesn't come up soon, I will try and put one together and I'll make that available over on my Patreon. So let's go ahead and have a quick look at text to video. You get a very simple workflow like this, where this is nested node. So if we go ahead and double click that, you'll see the actual configuration in here. As you can see, there's a lot going on. If you want me to dive deeper into how this is all wired up, do let me know and I'll do a separate deeper dive video into this. But basically, it's just setting up the sampler custom advanced with all of its independent nodes. There are some specific LTX nodes, and one of the important things to note here is when you look at the sigmas, which is the steps that are taken whenever a frame is made, they're using manual sigmas with manually input numbers. So that's really important to do. I have tried to replace this with the LTX scheduler, and I've had some success with the Pro version, but like I said, I haven't quite gotten to it yet. But if you want to play around with it, that's the one that I believe you should be using. Image to video is very much the same. You've got an image input in here. If you double click on this one, everything is wired up and you just get an output. Again, if you want me to dive deeper, let me know and I'll do a video dedicated just to that. For today, however, that's all you need to get started with LTX 2.5. Now, let's have a look at some of the results. As LTX is a great model in some ways, it does have some weaknesses. There are people online who have been saying that it doesn't live up to H3 MiniMax. H3 MiniMax is the better model. In many ways, I would have to agree. You do get a lot better results with H3 MiniMax for a lot of things, but LTX 2.5 has its own strengths as well. For starters, it is an incredibly fast model. I can't tell you how shockingly fast it is. I'm able to get generations in almost 1/4 of the time that H3 MiniMax does, no matter the length, whether it's 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. This model is an absolute beast when it comes to speed. And it doesn't even matter if you're using the distilled or the dev model. Even though I didn't get quality results with dev, it's running at 20 steps and it's generating videos at an incredibly fast rate. So at the very least, this is a great model to try out concepts, do a bunch of tests and trial and see what works in terms of your storytelling, and then go and take it into H3 Max. And in fact, the way that LTX works is it actually generates the video at a very low resolution, and then it uses an upscaler to increase the resolution of the video. And what we're going to do in my H3 MiniMax video that's coming up is we're going to take that upscaler and use it to get even better quality out of our H3 MiniMax videos. So there's a lot in the LTX 2.5 to consider. And as I said, we're going to look at the videos. There are some things it does quite well, and some things that it just absolutely sucks at. So without further ado, let's have a look at some of these videos. Oh, before I forget, super important thing. When you set it up for the first time, you will see down here that in the prompt enhanced model, it uses Gemma 4 E2B-IT-BF16. This is different from the text encoder that it uses over here. However, if you have not downloaded this model and you need to select something from here, it will default to the one that's used for the text encoder. This model is not included on the LTX-2.5 page. You need to source it elsewhere. I will put a link down in the description below if you want to use it. Do not use the text encoder Gemma, as you will get all kinds of weird stuff. I kept getting things that looked like they came out of an African drama. Kid you not. Makes me wonder what kind of input the model is trained on. And I do have to say, even though it's not what I prompted, it is actually some of the better quality videos. So check out the prompt enhanced model and see if it makes a difference for your videos. So let's start with the default video that comes with the workflow. When you drop in the workflow for text to video, you get a prompt about an Arctic soldier. I think I've got it pulled up over here. Here we go. A close-up of an Arctic hunter's face, his eyes fixed straight ahead and narrowed, locked onto something in the far distance. It's quite a lengthy prompt. It's got some action descriptions, some detailed descriptions. So let's have a look and see what we get. Okay, so not bad at all, right? It followed the instructions. We've got really good facial quality, a little blurry, but it just looks like a low resolution video. The action seems fine. The camera panning seems fine. Great text rendering. So all in all, nothing really much to complain about in this shot. Now, I tested several shots for animation style stuff that I've run with H3 MiniMax, and I will say that the model does struggle a lot with animation styles and fantastical elements. Anything that I tried to do, it just tried to 3D animate it. So let's have a look at some of the ones that I put out. This one was kind of like a Kiki's delivery service concept of a witch kind of trying to make a delivery. And this is what the results came out as. I'll pull up the prompt over here and you can have a look at the video. So that was one. I'll show you a couple of other renders. This is a 20-second version. Here's a 10-second version. So several issues with those videos. You can see that there's a lot of blurring on the action parts, especially at the top here where I'm guessing that's supposed to be wires or something. Generally some weirdness on the action. She's supposed to be carrying pizza boxes. The pizzas are open. When she tries to turn around to put out the fire, she kind of warps over there, warps back, and just generally, it's a fun little video, but there's a ton of artifacting, as much for the 20 as it is for the 10-second video. Here's another one over here. I'll pull up the prompt over here. You can have a look at the video. I'll put up all the different variants. And again, same thing, just so much weirdness all throughout, warping and whatnot. I'll just show you guys a couple more. This one's a much more simpler video prompt, and I think this is where LTX shines. It's really great at doing relatively short shots. Don't try and make a longer multi-shot video, even though that's what it says on the prompting guide, which is linked down below. At least with text to video, I haven't gotten the best results. Here's a simpler one. I think this is the closest one I've gotten to a good result on LTX 2.5. So there, I didn't see much artifacting. This could have easily looked out of a scene of a movie. It's the best of all the videos I've done. It's a single shot. It's got a camera. It's got a relatively straightforward camera movement. The bird bursts out of the moon as if it's an egg. And I like how the camera follows it, panning upwards. It doesn't quite escape from that AI video look, especially here where you've got the people at the bottom. But overall, I'd say it's not a bad attempt. Finally, I'll show you guys one. If you've ever watched the anime Shokugeki no Shonen, I tried to do a kaiju version of that. And I have a really cool one from MiniMax, which I'll show you on the next video. But this is the LTX one. So yeah, MiniMax did get that one a lot better. Okay, so that is LTX's text to video, but where I find that the model really shines is in image to video. And pretty much almost all the image to video attempts I've made have come out with 6 to 8 out of 10 results, simply because we've got the likes of Seedance and MiniMax on the table. If those weren't there, I would have probably ranked some of these 8 or 9. LTX is still a little bit behind the curve, but if you need to generate stuff quickly, I think it's still the go-to model. So you guys probably saw the video at the beginning. That one was a image to video. Here we have it again.
LTX-2.5 is finally here, but is it worth your time?
So the issues here though, right? I will start by saying that the image I gave in was not the best quality. It did have a bit of an AI feel to it, and I did that on purpose. And we can see here that while she looks good, if we look at the lips, there is a little bit of artifacting which takes away from it. Here's another attempt.
2.5 is finally here, but is it worth your time?
And again, that's better, but still not quite where we need it to be. However, having said that, I then generated a set of new images, all 2K with Nano Banana, and I put together a very short movie clip of 2 samurai fighting on a train. I'm going to pull that up for you guys now over here, as I've got it still in individual clips, and I haven't edited it together. But I'm really happy with the results here, with the exception of the fight scenes. And unfortunately, as we've seen with the text-to-video videos as well, this is an area that LTX 2.5 struggles with massively. If your video needs action or a lot of movement, this is just not the model to be using. Seedance and MiniMax do a much better job. But for simpler stuff, UGC, talking heads, close-ups, short shots, it's a great model to use. And I would actually use it in combination with H3 MiniMax and Seedance to kind of fill in any short clip areas that those models are just kind of missing, perhaps as transitions between longer clips from those models. So check it out over here.
You should have stayed in the mountains, and you should have stayed dead.
So what did you guys think? Like I said, there are some parts of it that it did a really good job. If we look at some of those parts, like for example, the scene where he's kind of standing on the train, moving away, the rain coming down, there's really good detail here. The transition does feel a little off and does still feel a little bit AI generated, but for the purposes of storytelling with the tools that we have available, I think it's a very good place to start. This particular clip is quite a bit better, and I can actually see something like this being produced in real life. So it did produce some pretty good shots, but as I said earlier, those fight scenes, that's where the model just absolutely cannot. So with that, let me finish up and show you a couple of UGC videos that I did. Ran one in 16:9 and I did one in 9:16, as you're probably going to end up using your UGC videos in social media format. So let's have a quick look at those before we finish up the
Okay, this is actually so good. It's really creamy, super smooth, and not too sweet at all. I genuinely didn't expect it to taste this fresh.
So the video is actually really good. I'm really happy with it. There's few niggling issues, the way that she eats the ice cream, and a little bit of fuzziness in the lips when she's talking. But besides that, I'm really happy with it. And I can't help but wonder if these things could be fixed with Allura, with some help from the open source community, that this model is really close. And at the very least, if we're happy with the movement, we can use this as an input for another model that produces sharper results as a video to video. So again, a lot of use cases, a lot of opportunities here on how we can make the most of this model for the strengths that it has. So to finish up, I just want to show you guys the 9:16 UGC videos I made. I just showed you the widescreen version. And there's one thing you need to keep in mind when doing these kind of videos. So you'll have a look at these first 3 and let me know if you notice the abnormality. Besides that, I think they're pretty good.
Okay, this is actually so good. It's really creamy, super smooth, and not too sweet at all. I genuinely didn't expect it to taste this fresh. Okay, this is actually so good. It's really creamy, super smooth, and not too sweet at all. I genuinely didn't expect it to taste this fresh. Okay, this is actually so good. It's really creamy, super smooth, and not too sweet at all. I genuinely didn't expect it to taste this fresh.
So, did you guys notice the issue in the first two videos? Massive discoloration issues on the face. That happened because the image I submitted was a 16:9 image, and I told it to produce a 9:16 video. However, when I cropped the image, I adjusted it over on Nano Banana and gave it the correct dimensions. This is what the videos came out to look like.
Okay, this is actually so good. It's really creamy, super smooth, and not too sweet at all. I genuinely didn't expect it to taste this fresh. Okay, this is actually so good. It's really creamy, super smooth, and not too sweet at all. I genuinely didn't expect it to taste this fresh. Okay, this is actually so good. It's really creamy, super smooth, and not too sweet at all. I genuinely didn't expect it to taste this fresh.
So, yeah, relatively good results. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's not quite there. What still continues to bother me is there's always that little bit of blurring or artifacting that just puts me off and gives it that AI vibe. However, it's open source. We've got LoRa capability. We've got fine-tuning capability. So I'm hopeful that the community can come together and take this model to the next level. As I think with just a little bit of extra refinement, we can get something truly spectacular. Thanks so much. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you want to stay tuned for how I'm going to get this running on a 24GB GPU or less, and if you're interested in the upcoming H3 MiniMax video that does exactly the same. And if you really want to continue to help me make amazing videos like this, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. I am saving up for a better computer so that I can produce better videos and run more AI experiments, so every little bit of help goes a long way. Or alternatively, you could check out Kaiju Gen, my image and video generation platform. I featured it on and off over here on the channel, and using it would really help me out. The benefit that you have is that it's not run by a massive corporation, so if you have any issues, you can just shoot me an email and I'll usually solve it right away. I've got a video coming out to talk about some of the new cool features that I've got on it, so stay tuned if you're interested in checking that out. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.